when Yiyi died just 2 weeks before the wedding. Jun thought this grief was the end of their story. He buried her in a red qipao, just as her family wished, following a custom he didn't understood. Her parents were kind people, but they avoided the ceremony and stood at a distance. Jun asked them to join, but they refused. Thinking about them made Jun more sad, so when they asked him to participate in a simple Chinese ceremony weeks later, he agreed without thinking. Weeks later, a package arrived at his doorstep, unmarked, heavy. He dragged it inside, opened the cardboard flaps, and froze in shock. Inside was a life-sized paper doll, dressed as a bride, folded intricately in crimson and gold attire, her painted face frozen in an expression of calm devotion. Her hands were folded in prayer, and her lips were red, as if waiting for a kiss. Jun had a hunch, but called the number nevertheless. He had seen this doll at Yiyi's parents' house. He was furious when Yiyi's mother picked up the phone. Her voice was soft and calm. "What have you done?" asked Jun angrily. "It's tradition," she said. "We sent her to you, so you won't be alone. And neither will she. Keep her close, or she'll be angry." Slamming the phone on the table, Jun realized their setup finally. That night, he left the paper doll in the corner of the living room, but by the next morning, it was standing near the bedroom door. He didn't remember moving it. The same thing continued on the second night as well. Only thing that changed was that this time, it was closer. By the third night, he stayed awake because now there was a red thread suddenly wrapping itself around his wrist, tight, biting into his skin like it had been tied since ages. He tried to burn the figure. He doused it in lighter fluid, struck a match, but the paper bride wouldn't catch fire. Instead, a fine layer of ash formed on the surface, like it had already been burned once before. The next night, he dreamed of a wedding where he stood at an altar. However, something was wrong. His hands were not his own. They were made of folded paper. In horror, he looked beside him. At that very moment, the bride beside him lifted her veil, and beneath it was Yiyi's face, burned and hollow, her eyes weeping fire. "You never said goodbye," she whispered. "So I came to you." Jun screamed, but he never woke up. The next day, the apartment was empty. No sign of Jun was ever discovered. No matter how much the police searched for him, it felt as if the person has vanished into thin air. 10 years have passed, but if you looked through the window of the house, even today, you could see the paper bride standing silently by the glass. And if you watched long enough, you'd swear she blinked.